Hello, everybody, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. As you've seen through a series of communications over the last number of months, we are taking a concerted effort to really rebrand our messaging to our clients around this idea of applications, platforms, and operations, nickname APO, but really to organize ourselves in a way to align ourselves to how our customers are changing. So over the next number of minutes, I'm going to cover the new APO sales deck. Now, it's important to understand that this APO sales deck is the high level, here is our approach methodology to aligning ourselves to our customers and really connecting the dots in which we exist in our customers' IT ecosystem. Now, you may have to take versions of this and add in point, products or solutions that CBTS offers, depending on your audience. But I am going to go through over the next number of minutes this new deck and in a way that hopefully gives some level of repeatability. So today we're going to talk about navigating the application era. To navigate the application era, we're really going to focus on our clients' modernization journeys. I'm going to touch on industry disruption. We're going to talk on defining what application modernization actually is, right? Is that another buzzword? It's a word that has a lot of self-definition. A lot of people have defined it in their own way. So I'm going to kind of bring that together. I'm going to run through our approach methodology and our solutions. I am going to talk about a couple of important client success stories, and then we'll kind of close it with next steps. The bold statement here is every business needs to think of itself as an application company, right? Applications are truly the backbone of every modern business. Applications drive revenue. They increase customer experience. They optimize your operations. Applications truly are the backbone of every single modern business. In legacy companies everywhere, in every single business sector or vertical are being disrupted. Look at Uber. Uber is the largest taxi service. They don't own any cars. Airbnb is the largest short-term rental or hoteling service. They don't own any real estate, right? You look at the technological advancements of Amazon or Robinhood and how they disrupted the individual trader experience. Zoom, Tesla, GoodRx, all of these companies are digital first, and they use modern apps to bring new functionality to market faster. This meets customer expectations for speed, agility, and scalability. So the reality here is organizations, they need to securely modernize their legacy apps, they need to modernize their platforms, and they need to develop new modern applications to rethink their outdated business models if they're going to stay competitive. That's the reality in the world that we live in and our customers live in every single day. Let's define application modernization. Application modernization truly has a lot of definitions, right? We're going to sum it up. Our definition of application modernization is this. It's the process of rewriting, re-architecting, and replatforming legacy and traditional apps into cloud-native modern apps designed for resiliency, scale, and speed to market. Now, the really interesting thing or really value that CBTS brings to the table in the application modernization world is when we start connecting those platforms. We start optimizing those operations all in support of application modernization. So let's talk through a few of the key benefits of a modernized application. First of which is a simple, responsive experience that customers enjoy using, right? Put yourself in the chair of a consumer. If you book a hotel room, you order takeout, right? You expect a simple, responsive experience to continue doing business with that organization, right? If it's clunky, if it's hard to use, you're probably going to go somewhere else, right? That simple, responsive experience truly is a competitive advantage. Another benefit is this idea of continuous deployment of new features that drive a competitive advantage. More and more, companies are developing and rolling out new features daily, weekly, to really drive a competitive advantage. And they're doing so with a cloud native architecture with it, which is another benefit, right? That enables that scalability, performance, and flexibility that you expect in a modernized application. Another benefit is DevOps, DevSecOps, and the best practices that revolve around that, that discipline, if you will. Those best practices drive a culture of ownership and trust while truly improving the agility of the organization. I'm here in just a moment. I'm going to cover a stat around kind of DevOps and the agile function. And then finally, improving security. Security is so important in any modernized application or any modernized journey, but by leveraging modern tools and practices, you can incorporate security directly into the application build cycle. Now, here's the reality. And this is from, hundreds of customers, thousands of meetings we've sat in. Most companies are struggling with modernization in some way, shape, or form, and now is a fantastic time to gain a competitive advantage. Right? In today's world, the big don't beat the small, the fast beat the slow. I gave that stat on Uber earlier. That's a great example of the fast beating the slow. As it relates to Agile, there's an 86% increase in the adoption of Agile software development methodologies, and that was a study done by the MIT Sloan Management Review. The next is interesting to me. Only 44% of customers are doing enough to prepare for digital disruption in their particular industry, whatever that industry is. And then finally, a lot of companies recognize the importance of application modernization, but investments in their legacy apps are actually holding them back, right? Maintaining and operating a legacy application and all of the infrastructure that goes with it can consume up to 80% of corporate IT budgets, right? That's handcuffing their IT organization from really making any real change because of those legacy budgets. So let's talk through, okay, what is keeping organizations from modernizing their apps and modernizing their platforms? Well, I just mentioned that in the last slide, but a large investment in legacy infrastructure, they're handcuffed. Now, a lot of times we see that a lot of organizations really aren't sure where to start. I talked about application modernization being a big term. It's no different than digital transformation, right? There's so many definitions that companies aren't really sure where to start, or they don't have the right personnel to truly drive and influence change. Change can be expensive in the short term. There's no doubt about that. Now, what we're seeing from a modernization strategy and all of the competitive benefits that you get from being a modern, app company is it can be expensive in the short term, but the ROI long term is there. There is this general fear that a modernization project can lead to system downtime, and that's challenging, right? That's scary. What we have seen, and this is where I'm going to cover in a second about our holistic approach, but most technology integrators will offer a point solution in a modernization strategy, right? They will help you with the refactoring of an app and step away and say, all right, I'm done. Go to your next integrator to help you modernize the platform or to optimize your operations. So those are just a few key things that are keeping organizations from modernizing their apps and platforms. There are, you can research on Google. There are a ton of other reasons, but those are, kind of what we've indexed as to be the top priority. But here's the good news for our customers. You don't have to go at it alone. CBTS does truly understand that a successful modernization strategy includes 4 key things. That first one is that idea of a holistic approach, right? We understand that success for our clients in their modernization journey does depend on having for them a personalized mix of interconnected applications, platforms, and operations, and together those things deliver a competitive advantage, right? We focus on that entire ecosystem. The next is modern solutions, right? We understand that incorporating the right mix of cloud-native development, DevOps, data lakes, containers, automation, microservices, the list goes on. We understand incorporating that right mix of future-proof technologies is important to develop a modern solution. Now, I really like this next point, which is security, right? Security always has to be top of mind throughout that entire modernization strategy. And it has to be addressed throughout the entire project. And then finally, we understand that a successful modernization strategy must include interoperability. Interoperability between systems, interoperability between platform applications and software to really allow for this, the sharing of data, allow meaningful analytics that help drive business outcomes. So to recap that, we believe a successful modernization strategy must include that holistic approach. It must include modern solutions. It must include security being top of mind always, and it must include interoperability. So let's talk through our approach. At CBTS, we have an approach and a methodology as it relates to application modernization. And what I'm going to cover over the next few minutes is connecting all of those dots about our place in the IT ecosystem and really around that application platform and operation. When we sit with our clients, an organization's applications typically fall into one of three categories, right? Or they fall into all three in some way, shape, or form. First of which is that legacy app bucket. So our customers have legacy apps that most often sit on-prem. These are older, non-critical applications that really haven't had a whole lot of investment and frankly are not that strategic to the success of the business. And over time, our customers' IT organizations are saying, all right, legacy app, it's time for you to be sunsetted. I am going to invest in a software as a service application, for example, to migrate away from that. The large swath of our customers' applications exist in what we call the traditional app bucket. Now, those traditional applications may sit on-prem, they may sit in the cloud, but these are the applications that run the business for our customers, right? These are your ERP systems, these are your payroll systems, etc. And for the most part, these are the non-revenue generating applications, right? And like I said, they could run on a company-owned data center, a hosted data center environment. They could run in cloud-based environment, but they kind of run the business. And again, these are probably 80% of the applications that our customers run today. And that last bucket is your modernized applications. These are the customer-facing applications. These are the critical employee applications. These are the applications that drive top-line revenue or are strategic to the business. Because they've been modernized or built modernized, they typically do follow some sort of cloud-native development and are running, in containerized environments, serverless environments, etc. So take a step back. These are the three key pillars or buckets, rather, that our customers' applications sit in. You have your legacy apps, 10%, call it. You have traditional apps, 80% of your customer applications. And then another 10% are truly modernized today. So, CBTS, where does your modernization approach and methodology fit into this? And that's what I'm going to cover next. Well, first off, we kind of start with the application, the A of APO, right? We help our customers prioritize their traditional applications to figure out what can be modernized with cloud-native development, serverless, containerless technologies. We look at which applications should be modernized and start that journey to modernize. Not everything is a good candidate to be modernized, right? They should still exist on-prem, and I'll cover more about our role in that ecosystem next. But after we prioritize those applications into the modernized space, we really, again, with the A of APO, we want to take a holistic approach to application modernization. Now, focus your eyes on the bottom right-hand side here with consulting and assessments, modern application development, secure migration, operations, and management. This is the A of APO for CBTS. Now, I'm going to define those quickly here. Consulting and assessments are assessing and documenting the current application environment and give our customers a roadmap to modernize those applications based on the priorities of the business, right? It's understanding, Mr. Customer, what is your strategic priority? Let's align your application environment to those priorities, right? That roadmap may also include a plan to adopt DevOps best practices, right? that helps drive that culture of innovation and continuous process improvement. That next definition of the A of APO is modern application development, right? Applications have to be, a lot of times in a modernization strategy, have to be rewritten. They have to be re-architected and re-platformed into a cloud-native modern app, right? So we will focus on that cloud-native architecture to enable that better security, scalability, performance, and availability through modern application development. Right, the next piece is that secure migration, right? New application environments, they're designed and built based on business objectives, right? And those objectives will have dependencies on the consumption model, right? Cloud, hybrid, on-prem. And those applications are tested and migrated securely into production with no impact or little impact right to the day-to-day business. And then finally, the last part of that A is the operations and management. Modernized applications and associated cloud and on-prem platforms are monitored and supported to make sure that you truly are getting that peak performance and availability of that application, right? To go along with that, we focus on backup and recovery services along with continuous security monitoring, right? That improves your data protection. In the event of a breach, in the event of a major outage, we wrap in our operations and management around the application strategy to ensure you're prepared in the event of a catastrophic event. All right, so that covers the A of the APO and really what our role in that ecosystem is. But what about, let's go back to the traditional applications. We may have decided collectively that there are applications that should not be modernized. But you as an organization want to take advantage of a more modernized platform. What do, right? A lot of those traditional apps, I'm going to say, for example, they exist on an x86 platform. That x86 platform has dependencies, right, for that application to run. It has dependencies on compute, has dependencies on network, and dependencies on storage. What do, CBTS, to help me through this idea of modernizing my platform while not changing my application architecture? Well, we do a few things here. And this is where, we've talked about the A. Now we start to bring in the P, right? We have a managed services business that takes over our clients' existing compute network storage environments and puts a managed service wrapper around them to really, help manage and operationalize their existing environments. We also talk with our customers and say, listen, I can't change my application architecture, but I do want to take advantage of the public cloud. What can I do? Well, we often will help our customers through getting to the public cloud through a lift and shift, right? That might be the best approach for those certain applications. We also hear more and more that our customers say, listen, I have to have my application on my premise. I have to have it in my data center, but I want to take advantage of, a modernized infrastructure and public cloud economics on premise, right? CBTS we'll start talking through with our customers about things like HPE GreenLake, which really, modernized your infrastructure on premise, but give you a public cloud economic consumption model on your premise. And then finally, we are a big time infrastructure player, right? Our customers say, listen, I got to keep my application architecture the same, but I really need to upgrade all of the infrastructure that exists for that application to run effectively. I need to upgrade my compute environments, my network environments, storage environments, and we have a very well-oiled infrastructure business to help support that initiative. So far we've talked about the A, we've started bringing in the P, but one thing I have not talked about is the role of SaaS, right? Software as a service. Where does that play in this strategy? Well, here's what's important. Integration of SaaS applications, they can be tedious without the right skill sets, right? When introducing SaaS applications to your business, it's important to properly integrate them into both cloud and on-prem platforms. I'll use ServiceNow as a great example of this. ServiceNow is a software as a service application that a lot of our customers use. That application has development modules that sit on top of that and integration points into a whole lot of data sources, whether on-prem or whether in the cloud. What CBTS focuses on is that SaaS integration service to make sure whatever your SaaS investment is, that you have the capability to integrate into both modern and traditional apps to be successful. So we've talked about the A, we've started bringing in the P, we've introduced SaaS. Here's another key area, CBTS. We talked about earlier about the holistic approach that we take with our clients. This is where the dots really start to connect for me, for our clients, which is securely connecting your employees to your applications, right? I am a networker by trade, and for years and years and years, it was, how do you connect building A to building B? And how do you do that reliably? How do you make sure it doesn't go down? And then you step away, right? Well, we are now a distributed workforce. We work anywhere. Our applications exist anywhere. So it begs the question of, how do you securely connect your employees to your applications? Right? As you talk through APO, this is now a greater expansion around the platform capability, is connecting your employees to your applications with a holistic approach. Now, CBTS, what do? Right? We have network solutions, such as Network as a Service and SD-WAN, that really focus on connecting those people to those applications in a modernized and secure way. Now, talking about security, we have cybersecurity consulting. We have products and services around our security practice that, again, really help make sure that our customers' employees and our customers' customers can interface with their business in a secure way. More and more, we're seeing where collaboration platforms and integration are so important here, right? We have a very well-oiled collaboration business, and we've introduced things like Microsoft Teams and WebEx, which are actually becoming key applications to the workflow of those businesses. And again, we talked through securely connecting your employees to your applications. We would be remiss not to look at the hardware infrastructure design and deployment to support that business. So again, reinforcing the A and the P and the O, the world that we exist in starts to connect all of those dots in the entire IT ecosystem. We are that holistic integrator of all things applications, platforms, and operations. So let's talk through that. Our solutions around modernized applications, secure, scalable platforms, and optimized operations. From the development of and deployment of modern apps and the secure, scalable platforms in which they run, to managing, monitoring, and optimizing their operations, that is, by definition, that holistic approach that helps our clients navigate their modernization journey. So let's be specific. Let's talk about the A, okay? We walk through our methodology and approach as it relates to how we see our customers' environments run. Let's talk through the solutions. On the application side, that means application migration modernization. It means cloud-native development. It means DevOps. It means no and low-code development. On platforms, that means cloud platforms, hybrid, public, and on-prem. It means cloud communication solutions, right? Our UCaaS, our CCaaS, Network as a Service, SD-WAN, cloud communication solutions, and platform services. And then from an operations standpoint, that means app management services, right? We have our AMS products. We have cloud and infrastructure operations that we run. We have managed security services that we run for our clients. Now, there's 3 slides here that you're going to have, the access to weave into your deck, which is, again, around the A, the P, and the O. For application modernization, we have considerations. Those considerations are security. Those considerations are cloud native, and those considerations are culture and collaboration. And we expand on those with real, tangible solutions that we do, we roll out for our clients around application modernization migration, right? We do things like cloud readiness, cloud migration, cloud native development, DevOps, UX design. These are all solutions that we do for our customers today. Same with cloud native development. We talked about earlier, modern application development. We talked about DevOps, automated testing, infrastructure as code. These are all solutions that we offer for our clients in making a real tangible impact into their modernization strategy. DevOps and automation. Again, infrastructure as code, CI/CD pipeline, and no and low code development through we're making a big bet on Microsoft Power Apps. RPA and automation, governance and assessment are all solutions that exist in our application modernization pillar. For secure, scalable platforms, there are more considerations there, right? First of which is the application integration component. Those platforms should be selected based on their suitability to support our clients' modernized application strategy. Then you have security. We've talked about that. We've woven that into every part of this message. Platforms should be secure by design. Ensuring security is a fundamental component to both the processes, the tools, and the architecture. For secure, scalable platforms, another consideration is operations and support. A holistic integrated approach to building a platform ecosystem does ensure smoother operations, management, and ongoing support. And then finally, protecting the data, right, through data protection. So from a secure, scalable platform standpoint, here are some of the key solutions we offer at CBTS that help align to those considerations, right? The hybrid, public, on-prem cloud platforms. CBTS excels in managed AWS. We excel in Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud Platform. We have a long-standing virtual data center business and a long-standing infrastructure practice that helps facilitate that secure, scalable platform. We have a very mature cloud communications business through network as a service, hosted UC, contact center as a service, SD-WAN. And the platform services we offer are items like cloud infrastructure assessments, cloud security assessments, platform design and migration services, and even container orchestration services. So I've talked through the application solutions. I've talked through platform solutions. Now let's talk about optimized operations and the solutions that we align to our customers' objectives. Now there are a few key considerations here. The visibility, right? Effective operations must provide this visibility across multiple clouds, multiple sites, multiple applications. That visibility has to exist. I'll say it again, security, visibility is important here. And then finally, agility. Adopting agile operation strategy and DevOps or DevSecOps practices does accelerate that application's time to market. All right, CBTS, what do you do from the operations perspective? Well, we have a few key solutions. We have our application management services business, which does application monitoring and management. And they do that application monitoring and management onshore, offshore, and nearshore. We do quality assurance and testing. We do database management. We do cloud and infrastructure operations. We have a managed backup and disaster recovery business. Public cloud monitoring and management, regardless of what that public cloud environment is, right? We're that holistic integrator. If our customers want workloads in AWS, our customers want workloads in Azure, or we determine together that workloads are best suited for a particular public cloud, we'll provide that monitoring and management in that cloud environment. Same with other infrastructure monitoring and management, regardless of what that infrastructure is. And then finally, from an optimized operations standpoint, we focus on managed security services. Vulnerability and patch management is big. Security assessments, big. Penetration testing for our clients. We have a very mature security consulting business that does penetration testing with our clients. And then finally, threat detection and response. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up with just talking about a couple case studies. In this deck, there are a number of case studies that you should pull from to align to your clients, right? Depending on what industry or vertical they're in. But I do want to talk about briefly a case study with Kroger. Most of you know Kroger, but they are a leading retailer, and they are truly harnessing digital innovation to stay competitive. They have over 3,400 store locations. Now, they had a problem they came to us with, and their problem was, listen, I'm facing digital disruption by my competitors. I'm competing with Walmart. I'm competing with Amazon with their purchase of Whole Foods in order to maintain competitive in my business, right? My customers are increasingly expecting a personalized and an omni-channel shopping experience. But I don't really have the IT resources or the bandwidth to meet this increasing digital expectation. And by the way, my internal operations and supply chain systems, it needs modernized. It needs modernized so I can develop more quickly to maintain that competitive edge. So I need to be modernized to really meet time to market objectives that we've set forth as an organization. So CBTS, what did we do? We put forth a cloud-based holistic modernization strategy for Kroger. So we spun up 2 CBTS Scrum teams that focused on agile development to develop a greenfield online ordering system and an integration to a third-party automation platform. We put together a dedicated high bandwidth network environment to help facilitate those needs. It provided a pretty tangible outcome. We dramatically improved the customer shopping experience. Through our work with Kroger, we put a newly automated ordering system in place that reduced the order fulfillment time for online orders from 1 hour to 5 minutes. This is big, right? They're competing against Walmart and Amazon. Going from 1 hour to 5 minutes is a really big deal. We put together a modernized cloud-native network environment that minimized network downtime and outages. And finally, the client was able to meet their time-to-market objectives without disrupting their operations, right? We augmented their environment. We put together the Scrum teams. We became an extension of their organization to help meet this need. I'm going to skip through a couple here. Again, you should pull through what you think is relevant for your customer meeting. And I'm going to talk about Papa John's. Papa John's, a lot of us eat pizza. They are an international pizza retailer. They have over 4,300 locations. We developed a solution with Papa John's. By the way, Papa John's has a few key products from us, right? Set the stage there. They have network as a service. They have hosted UC. They have some custom applications that sit on top of those environments. And this one I'm going to talk through here briefly. So they came to us with a problem. CBTS, I'm struggling to keep up. I have an outdated, disparate networking and communication system that have a whole lot of downtime, and by the way, don't have the right bandwidth. They came to us, and really through our conversations, we found that they required a modern cloud-native IT architecture to really keep up with the evolving industry trends. Their biggest competitors are Domino's and Pizza Hut, right? Those companies innovate quickly. Papa John's had to do the same. They also have individual franchisees that were unable to provide a standardized customer experience to that franchisee. For context, they have about 700 corporate-owned locations out of that 4,300. The rest of which are all franchisees' environments. So the CBTS solution is we effectively redesigned their entire IT architecture. We implemented a scalable NAS and UCaaS solution across locations with analytics and with an intelligent IVR that was built to enable the ongoing improvement of the customer experience. We aligned ourselves to their IT organization. We aligned ourselves to their customer experience organization and kind of merged those environments to truly let the technology have a role in the customer experience. In this project, we also oversaw the installation, we oversaw the monitoring, and the ongoing maintenance of the data and voice solutions. Again, we did that through Network as a Service. We did that through hosted UC. And with Papa John's, we sat down and we developed a roadmap for continuous improvements in application modernization as their needs evolve. So the outcome. What was the outcome? Well, the outcome was we created a data-driven customer experience through this entire project. We helped them achieve cost savings and improve bandwidth due to a future-proof cloud networking and communication environment. We can now integrate new technology and custom apps as they are needed. Right? One example of that customer experience is if we said, okay, we have this foundational technology environment through hosted UC and network as a service down at the store level. Papa John's also had their application that they use. They call that Papa Track, and Papa Track has, you go on, you order your pizza through the mobile application from an omni-channel perspective, and you can see your order is in the oven. You can see your order is out for delivery, but that same experience did not exist in other channels. Well, we integrated their telephony environment to that application. So now the IVR will have the same experience as the application. And finally, we empowered Papa John's to make data-driven decisions to improve that customer experience and ultimately their bottom line. To that end, I'm going to wrap up this presentation with one statement. From the development and deployment of modern applications in the secure, scalable platforms in which they run, to managing, monitoring, and optimizing their operations, CBTS truly is the trusted partner that our customers need to thrive in the application era, right? We are changing how we go to market, how we message to our customers because of the work you all have done. We exist in the entire customer IT ecosystem, and we connect the dots as a holistic integrator and trusted partner for our customers. And for that, thank you. For our customers, our next step is to schedule a discovery session with our experts, followed by an assessment of the current application environment. Again, we start that conversation with the application. We can connect the dots everywhere else, and that's where you should rely on your pre-sales organization to help drive, that consistency in the motion. Thank you so much for your time today, and look forward to working with you soon.